by Subroto Bakshi at the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, in the year 2006. The script is, however, adapted to meet the needs of our higher secondary students.
A warm welcome, dear viewers, to a beautiful learning experience. We have among us a prominent personality, Mr. Subroto Bakshi. It's my pleasure to introduce an esteemed personality. He is a chairman of Odisha Skill Development Authority, Government of Odisha. He is the chairman and co-founder of Mindtree Limited and $435 million global IT solutions company. He is also a renowned owner. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for the introduction and looking forward for an intellectual learning experience myself.
Sir, your book titled Go Kiss the World. You have listed volumes of beautiful memories, right from early childhood till the present day of your professional setup. Give us insights of your childhood that brought up the think big approach in your life.
It was a wonderful journey. To make things short and crisp, my father worked as a district employment officer in Odisha. There, where we lived, the place had no electricity, restricted water supply, no primary schools. In fact, I attended school only after the age of 8 years. My father would be transferred every year, and my mother would set up an establishment and get us going. Those were some simple yet distinctive days.
Interesting. Sir, what would you underline as distinctive ways in which your parents have nurtured your childhood?
I can speak volumes about my parents and their early initiative to make me think big. I recollect my dad was given a government jeep for official work. He never used it to commute to work, never for any personal family reasons, never ever. He said it's a government resource and should only be used when in need. He would only use it when he was transferred to rural areas where no other means of transportation existed. Oh, how could I forget? The Jeep also had a government designated driver. We were never allowed to call him by name. We refer to him as Dada. It's important to treat those subordinate to you with as much respect as those who are superior to you. The same rule is applied in my home today. I own a car and ensure that my 2 daughters never call him by name, but refer to him as uncle.
Exactly. Early bird lessons of governance. In fact, lessons that corporate managers learn the hard way, and some unfortunately never learn. Definitely, it is more important to respect those who are subordinate to us appropriately, and early lessons create perfect results. I am curious to know more about your childhood.
Our day would typically start at my mother's kitchen. Our father would ask us to read the editorial section of the newspaper aloud. It was a ritual. See, we lived in a place with very few opportunities, hardly knowing what's happening in the world around us. Reading the newspaper gave us the learning experience to understand that the world was much larger than where we live. It helped us to connect to a bigger world. It helped us to understand the connection between our minds to a big wide world.
I can recall there were days when newspapers and radios were the main means of knowledge. But today, the world has turned into a knowledge economy. Sir, your book describes early lessons you silently learned from your mother. Can you speak on them?
My mother, during my childhood days, as I mentioned, my father would be transferred every year. My mother would never rest in the afternoon. She would collect twigs and build fences. Government quarters seldom had fences. Those properties were often having soil infected with white ants. She would treat the soil and ensure the land was fertile. She planted the garden and made sure the garden was well bloomed and looked beautiful. After all the beautification work was done, my father would get a letter of transfer. Our neighbors would ask her, why? Why do you trouble yourself when you know you are going to live in this house for just 1 year? She replied, when I move into a new place, I must leave it more beautiful than when I inherited it.
So true. It's not what we create for ourselves, but what we leave behind determines true success. So, briefly express about your journey.
You never know where life will take you. We need to work hard and trust ourselves in the process to achieve our goals. During my childhood days, my brother had gotten a job at the Bhubaneswar University and was also preparing for the civil services. My brother, after preparing for the civil services, did not have much time to spend at home. During that period of time, my mother had gotten cataract and was losing her sight. She would ask me to read the newspaper for her. Connectiveness mattered. My mother had lost her sight, but not her vision to connect to the world. Till today, I measure success in terms of connectiveness to a big, wide world. Imagination is everything. If we can imagine a future, we can create it. And it gives us a bigger sense of accomplishment.
Thank you, sir, for your insight. The thought of thinking big and hard work is the mean to connect oneself to a big vision.
It's my pleasure. I wish you all good luck and God's speed in thinking and executing big for a great, bright future.
We learn that in a world engrossed in materialism, we need to think big on basic concepts and conduct of behavior.
Be humble.
Rightly said, self-praise is for losers. Always be humble and have a class in your dealings. This skit teaches us to treat those subordinate to us with as much respect as those superior to us. Always be humble, as you do sometimes may be wrong.
Learns.
Live as if you're going to die tomorrow. Learn as if you're going to live forever. We observe that the entrepreneur in this skit learns from daily experiences. He concentrated on his path, making aspects in his life and creating ways for others to prosper. Observation and attention to detail in day-to-day life can teach you things that is not accessible in books and journals.
Practice agility.
Agility is the ability to quickly grasp knowledge and incorporate new ideas and concepts with confidence. Thus, building strong teams, having respectful communication, cordial connection, trust is the power to succeed.
Sense of purpose.
It is not the years in your life that matter. It is the life in your years. We need to learn to have a ground in our callings and treat others with a self of healthy self-esteem.
Whether you think you can or you can't, either way you will be right.